Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. My brother's mock draft dropped last night. We gave our thoughts and opinions on it. Now it's my turn to take a little bit of heat, releasing my mock draft 1.0. Once again, appreciate y'all watching the videos, liking, subscribing. That stuff means a lot to Dill and I. Let's get into this draft. I have Jacksonville taking Aidan Hutchinson with that first overall pick. The new regime, Doug Peterson, I don't think they're going to overcomplicate it. Go with the best prospect. We both have Hutch as our number one guy, and that's who they go with.
Yeah, I have my top three guys as defenders for that matter. Probably Hutch, Thibodeau, Kyle Hamilton. I think you could reverse that order pretty easily. So it's fair enough. I just think they need to help Trevor Lawrence. He got hosed last year by Urban Meyer, just a chaos regime. But I don't know. I think they're going to want to do everything they can to get him off on the right foot. So I still think they're going tackle, but we'll see.
Yeah, I just am really optimistic about Hutch, Josh Allen just really getting after the passer. That's kind of a scary duo to think about. Moving on to Detroit, Kyle Hamilton. We've had a lot of people comment on our videos that Detroit should be going with Kyle Hamilton, not waiting for Dax Hill later in the first round. Go get the next best prospect available, Kyle Hamilton. You're already set with your tackles. Don't need Evan Neal. Kyle Hamilton's he's a blue chip. What are you thinking?
In your case, with your Hutchinson pick, I think this is where they end up. And I don't know. I like everyone else is souring on Thibodeau. I still think he could make a case to be the top draft pick, but I think that's fair pick. Hamilton's sick. All three of them are really, really good.
Three, I have a trade. Carolina trades up, but they're not going up for a quarterback. They're going up for Evan Neal. I think that's when Carolina sees a left tackle like Evan Neal, who can just be so solid and kind of Carolina's a well-balanced offense. Go get Evan Neal. He can block really well in the run game. He's a very good pass protector. And Carolina's missed a lot of left tackles. They haven't really figured out that position for years. Still have one more year with Sam Darnold. You might as well just commit to him. And if you're bad again with Darnold, go get a Bryce Young, CJ Stroud next year. But they're not reaching for a quarterback here. I think Carolina or Houston is a massive trade partner. I think they're going to be looking to trade out, get more picks.
But they're not even going to get any picks for this. Like, what are they going to get? A third rounder? Like,
no, a couple spots. I'm not the best person to ask about like the trade compensation. I know there's charts out for it, but it is often pretty hard to predict. Any pick's a good pick. I would guess it'd be at least a second rounder. We'd have to pull up the charts for it, but I mean, there's no one player that's going to bring Houston back. Acquiring some day two, maybe even a day one pick, and they're trading out here.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Evan Neal's as big of a step up of the top three. I just think he's kind of negligible, I would say.
I disagree with that.
Thibodeau's undeniable, I think.
Yeah, and then KT falls to 4. I think the Jets get a steal here. I mean, the Jets are probably banging the table for a guy in the secondary. Kyle Hamilton's not available. Go get one of the best prospects in the draft, like you said, if not the best prospect in the draft at 4. I think that's a really good pick. You look at what made that San Francisco defense under Robert Saleh so successful in San Francisco. It's getting after the passer. KT ideally will help them do that.
I mean, that's a fair pick because the way I see it is Thibodeau is way better than the next best defense. Well, not way better, but better. Stingley and Ahmad Gardner, I think you can argue either way. I don't think it's head and shoulders for Stingley, even though I think he's the better player. But with all the questions, I don't know. The Jets need help in the secondary.
You're not passing on KT though. I don't think you can.
You can't. That's
and like
fair.
You said it. I mean, Stingley, Gardner still on the board. You have the pick at number 10. You're probably getting one of those two guys.
They'll get one of them.
We'll see if they get one of them. 5, Ikemekonu. I think you stick him at right tackle. Andrew Thomas at left tackle. Go work on fixing that offensive line.
Yeah, I'm not going to debate that. That's a good pick. He's good.
So now Houston gets this pick from Carolina. They go Charles Cross. I think Laramie Tunsil's actually going to be on the move in this draft. So you go get your left tackle, who's just a stud pass protector. This is the run on tackles. Like after these three guys, like there's a significant drop off. You got to go get your guy here, Charles Cross. I think that's the pick for the Texans.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's best value too. I think it probably you could argue. So Houston, I think, is picking best available at most spots. So yeah. I don't think that's bad. Charles Cross could very easily make the argument at 6.
All right, let me hear it. What are you thinking about Tyler Linderbaum?
Stupid. They're not doubling up the defense. Or the offensive line. It just can't do it. I don't.
Billy Price as a free agent, you go get Akem, Tyler Linderbaum. You're running the football. You have it's a double dip. I get it. And it's aggressive, but that's the position like they need to develop. And I just think you can't let another year go by where you're trying out Daniel Jones and you just can't protect him.
This just isn't a double. They're not a double. Like, they're not an offensive line away from being good. They have other spots to fill. And, to pass up a good edge rusher, Jermaine Johnson, I think would be tough for them to do because they certainly need that. I just don't see
how that fits. You got Leonard Williams. You drafted Azeez Ojulari. Like, I was trying to make that pick work because I wanted Jermaine to go there, but they went out and got Azeez last year. I don't know. I don't love it either, but I think Tyler Linderbaum is just so
good. Like Azeez was killing it, though.
Yeah, that's true. Atlanta, they go get Derek Stingley Jr. I think you had this in your mock. I like the idea of having A.J. Terrell, Derek Stingley. You immediately have one of the best young secondaries in the league.
I think this is a pretty easy pick. They need help there.
I was thinking Jermaine Johnson, but I didn't go there. Now I got Pittsburgh. I got the Steelers trading up. I think it's no secret that Mike Tomlin likes Malik Willis. I think he's tired of watching Ben Roethlisberger stand back there and just not be able to move, manipulate the pocket, be an athlete. Malik Willis has the best physical traits in the draft at that quarterback position. When you're looking at Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow in your division, you need a quarterback who can hang with those guys. I think Malik Willis has the best chance to do so.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Trading up for a quarterback in this draft is tough because there's a good chance he makes it there anyway. I know I mocked him somewhere, but
you mocked him to the Commanders at 11.
You could. It's like that's an aggressive mock pick. I think there's a great chance he makes it there on his own, or I don't.
But that's a position you go up and get your guy. Like, you can't risk not getting.
It is when there's when there is that guy. There is no that guy in this draft.
10, the Jets, Sauce Gardner. You get your cornerback. The Jets fans don't need to bully me in the YouTube comment sections. You got a arguably CB1, not on our boards, but arguably one. And now you got an elite edge rusher to go along with it. I wish I kind of maybe addressed the offense a little bit, but they put some significant capital into the offensive line and wide receiver core with Mims, Elijah Moore. So I don't necessarily think you need to go there.
They also might end up with a good wideout in the second round where they're picking. So
not in my mock. I have a lot of wide receivers going off the board here. You're gonna see real soon. Washington, they go get Sam Howell, who is my tentative QB2 again. I'm not going to bat with any of these quarterbacks. I think Sam Howell has like the next best set of traits. He showed off that athleticism running for I think it was like 900 yards, and he was a bruiser, man. This dude is like a brick house. He has a very good arm. I just worry about the transition to that NFL style offense. Ran a lot of RPO, not really what you see in the NFL. That being said, give him Diami Brown. And they just need a quarterback. You can't trot out Taylor Hinkie again. We've talked about it a lot.
I just don't like the player. I get the spot they need.
Who are you going? Quarterback? If Malik Willis off the board, what quarterback? Corral? Kenny? It's hard.
It might be Daz.
I'm a Daz guy. You're high. You're a big Desmond Ritter guy. We haven't actually gotten into our quarterback rankings yet.
Sam Howell didn't even really kill it in the ACC. Was my issue. Like it's not like you, especially once the
dogs
got
left.
off the
Yeah.
team.
Yep. Minnesota, they go get Jermaine Johnson, our edge 3. I think this is a steal for them if they can get it. I think they're looking at, okay, Jermaine Johnson or an edge guy, maybe Karl Loftus. If that is not the case and a Stingley or a Gardner is still on the board, that's where you're going. Both those guys are off the board, but Jermaine Johnson is on the board. I think they're going to wind up with Gardner, Stingley, Jermaine Johnson, or George Karlaftis. One of those.
I agree with that. I wouldn't debate the
maybe
Minnesota pick.
Ojabo, but I think those are the safest picks. And then Cleveland, you've talked me into Chris Olave. I mean, the more I watch him, the more he's just an absolute technician at finding open space. I mean, he is the king. And in a year that you saw the wide receivers having the most success weren't the freaks. They were the guys who are able to get separation off the line of scrimmage, run clean routes, find open spots in zone coverage. That's Chris Olave. I think his skill set translates the best to the NFL.
Yeah, and we'll see. People keep saying he's like not the freak. I mean, I don't like freak, whatever you call him, but he's gonna run a fast 40, and like I think he's way more athletic than people like think. It's just because he makes everything look easy.
Yeah, that might that I'm interested to see how he tests because everyone says he's gonna run faster than Garrett Wilson. We're going to see if he actually does that. But yeah, apparently he's got burners on his feet. Kenny Green to the Ravens, just next best interior offensive lineman. Tackles are off the board. Linderbaum's off the board. Get back to that ground and pound with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Kenny Green's going to help you do it.
Yeah, they need to run the ball. That's not a team that can throw. So that's good value. Good.
And Kenny Green's a guy we have as a top 10 prospect who's just not at a position of need there. Philly, Kobe Dean, my LB1. We talked about it a lot. I think he just has these special traits, like the instincts. He flies. Like when you watch his film, he's just always around the football. He's flying around the football. He's a leader, and they need a linebacker. They need one bad.
Yeah, wouldn't argue that pick. I do still think they're trading out of it, but won't argue.
And then they go get Trent McDuffie. I mean, it's no secret that they need help at the cornerback spot. CB3 going to Philly. I know you're a Roger McCreary guy, but
you don't see the vision. You're I don't know what you see in McDuffie exactly, but
you see just an amazing film. Like nobody caught balls on him. That's what you see. The worry is, can he do it against elite competition, which he just didn't see in the Pac-12. That's what
three competent teams in that hole that he's played in like 3 years. So
yeah, no, I agree. I 100%. That's the biggest knock on him. And maybe the long
he's his
speed
own
in the frame.
guy, but
yeah.
Whatever.
Chargers go get Perry and Winfrey. I know a lot of people are mocking Jordan Davis to them. I think Perry and Winfrey is the better interior offense or defensive lineman. I think he's decent in the run game, and the biggest problem that you might see is like, okay, Chargers struggled so bad against the run. Perry and Winfrey is not exactly the best run stopper in this class, but the Senior Bowl was nuts. The ability to push pockets, the ability to beat interior offensive linemen with his athleticism and length. He made some money. He's a top 20 prospect, and I think the Chargers need some help up inside on that.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with that. I'm a Jordan Davis guy, and I will die on that hill if I have to. But best run defender we've seen in probably 5 years in the draft. So, yeah, he's an animal. But Perry and Winfrey, better potential, maybe, but I don't know.
Saints, I'm going Kenny Pickett. I think purely because he's one, the next best quarterback on the board. Two, the Saints team it's a good football team, and they need a quarterback who's ready to come and play. They're not really going to be able – I'm not optimistic they're going to be able to sign one with just they have no money. But it's a good team. Get a quarterback who can play high-level football. That's Kenny Pickett. If they don't get anybody in free agency, which I don't think they'll be able to afford, I think you got to go quarterback on a rookie deal, see what you can make happen. Kenny Pickett is
the QB happy draft out of you, huh?
Yeah, and the more I think about it, the more it's some of these teams just need quarterbacks. I get the options aren't great, but you need a quarterback, and taking a flyer on a quarterback on a rookie deal is just worth the shot. We've seen it, how it plays out in Buffalo with Josh, hitting on a rookie quarterback, getting him on a rookie deal, being able to surround him with really good talent. And Kenny Pickett's a guy who you get good talent around him, I think he can be a solid player in the NFL, give you a chance to win football games.
I mean, the flip side of that, though, you can torpedo yourself if you're missing. And I think there's taken kind of leap of faith in these guys, and they all very well could miss. So,
I think Kenny Pickett is the safest, though. I mean, I think he is the safest. I think he'll be just a solid. I don't know. I worry that is he able to gonna go win you playoff games?
That's like the problem. It's like what are you getting like who's the guy from Peterman? It's like smells like a little Peterman. Not like I don't want to like throw shade that hard
because is it just because they both went to Pitt or what?
I mean, that's what's jogging it in me, but also like two guys who nothing stands out great. But I mean, Kenny Pickett did produce. In fairness, I don't know. I don't really remember Peterman's stats, but it was just.
And one other thing you gotta love with Kenny Pickett is a 3-year starter there, and he just got better every year. And he could have left last year, probably would have been an early day 3 pick, maybe late day 2. Comes back and just plays his way into a first round draft pick. I mean, he's just gotten better and better and better. And you gotta like that progression when you're drafting a quarterback.
The fake slide though, that concerns me.
That still makes me mad. Wake wins that game if that doesn't happen. Garrett Wilson falls. He's fallen long enough. Jalen Reagor, you just might have to cut ties, jump ship. Not gonna work out in the NFL. Get Garrett Wilson, a guy who is gonna work out in the NFL. Devontae Smith, a little bit more of the sturdier guy, and then you get Garrett Wilson, who really can flash. If you're trying to build a team around Jalen Hurts, I think Garrett Wilson is going to help you do that. Value too, they're just value.
Yeah, I think that's if they just keep that pick, I think they're very well in the wide receiver market for sure.
Yeah, and then you're in the wide receiver market, and then Garrett Wilson falls. I think that's kind of.
I mean, if they can end up with him. I don't know. I think you take any of them, honestly. Dotson, Burks, all of them.
Nah, I'm not a Burks guy. Not a Burks guy. I mean, you're not taking, in my opinion, Dotson over Wilson, in my opinion. I think they got.
No, well, I don't think it I wouldn't think it's as crazy as you, but I wouldn't do it. I do think Garrett Wilson's better, but Dotson's good.
So Denver gets this pick from Pittsburgh after the trade. George Karlaftis still on the board. Him, Bradley Chubb, I think will be a really good pass rushing duo. Talk about George Karlaftis, where he's a relatively high floor guy. I don't think he's going to miss. I think just the power in his hands is going to translate to the NFL. Is he going to be like an elite guy? Maybe not so. But I think he's going to be solid, and I think really solid football players, especially at the edge position, are worth a top 20 pick. And Denver goes.
I think if Devin Lloyd ends up here, he's getting picked by the Broncos. I think that makes they need to replace Josie Jewell, and I think you're getting good value in a high position in need. That again, I don't see anyone else behind him that they can end up with, because I do think Harris is going to go a little earlier than maybe their next pick, but Karlaftis good value. I don't know. I just don't see it for him. I don't know. Could be crazy, but
the Patriots go get Jahan Dotson, your guy, coming off as wide receiver 3 on the board. Jameson Williams with the ACL. I think the Patriots have just kind of not really worked out with those possession receivers like a N'Keal Harris. I don't know if they're going to go with a Drake London, Treylon Burks. I think they're going to go with just a more all-around solid wide receiver who can create space, who can win downfield, and has great hands. And that's Jahan Dotson.
I mean, you're stealing from me a little bit
I stole that pick.
It is what it is.
Your justification was spot on. I think that's the best quarterback for Mac Jones. Like, get a guy who can create separation off the line of scrimmage, and Mac Jones is going to hit him in stride. And I think Dotson's your guy there. Oakland, they go get Treylon Burks. I'm not the biggest. J-Mo's coming, but he's coming a little later than most people think. I think Treylon Burks, like, you can't make the same mistake that you did with DK, where it's like, I mean, that size, that speed, he's going to be a good player at the next level. I think the Raiders, obviously, with Henry Ruggs, they kind of need a bigger weapon. Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Treylon Burks, I think that rounds out a pretty good wide receiver room. Don't forget about Brian Edwards, who, I mean, we're waiting on Rock's prediction to
T.O. and Jerry Rice combined.
Yeah. Arizona go gets David Ajabo. I think what you've seen with Arizona and how they draft is like they like the athletes. They went up and got Isaiah Simmons. They went up and got Zayvon Collins, like guys who are just a little bit more athletically gifted than others. David Ajabo falls into that category. The value's there. I'm not as high person on David Ajabo. I think you just didn't see enough. You kind of saw one flash in the pan season where he was getting he was getting really good opportunities to get after the quarterback with Aidan Hutchinson on the other side. And so I'm not like freaking out about the production quite as much. I think he still has a lot of holes in his game that he's got to fix. But again, a guy who he's playing a different sport than everyone else. He's just more.
I could see a legit world where he's the third guy picked in the
Oh,
top
100%.
10 selection.
Somebody might love him.
He's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, somebody might just love him. It's not necessarily me, but I also wouldn't argue if a GM goes up and gets him in the top 10 because this dude is just that gifted.
Yeah, he is.
Dallas goes against Devin Lloyd. I think this is a really good pick. I think if one of these backers, whether it's Nakobe Dean, whether it's Devin Lloyd, falls to 24 overall, I think it's got to be Dallas picking him. They've just played for far too long with the slow linebackers. And Devin Lloyd weirdly has some traits with Micah Parsons, like the ability to blitz off the edge and use his hands in pass rush. And maybe this gives you an opportunity to kick Micah Parsons down to edge where he's like shown some freakishly ability to get after the passer. Like imagine if you get 2 or 3 seasons with Micah Parsons working and trying to develop some more pass rush moves. And he's just winning because he's just more athletic and faster and stronger than everyone else. Give him some tools. I mean, that's scary. And then you got to get Devin Lloyd in the middle of the field who is linebacker 1B. I think this
would be it would be such a dream for them if they could end up with him or Dean. It's hard for me to see it. I think those two are going a little higher than the Cowboys, but hence I have them trading up to Denver spot. But we'll see. I mean, if he falls to them, yeah, that's a slam dunk, no question.
Buffalo Bills go get Drake London. The what I'm nervous about is like Gabe Davis kind of showed the ability of what like Drake London can do. That being said, man, give Josh Allen just a massive catch radius. I mean, on the other side, what'd you say?
Corner.
But like Roger McCreary, is that who you're calling for? Andrew Booth, maybe?
I would take Booth here.
Yeah,
I think for the Bills.
That's fair. To be honest, yeah, maybe.
We so badly need a second. It's crazy.
Maybe I got a little excited with the shiny object here now that I think about it. Drake London with Josh Allen's a fun thing to think about, but I think you might have to go cornerback there.
I mean, yeah, but the Bills are scoring at will with or without him.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Cooking.
Tennessee Titans go Zion Johnson.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Center's up on contract. Ben Jones, 33 years old. Don't know if he gets signed back. Zion Johnson showed the ability to play center at the Senior Bowl. Makes sense. Solid pick. Solid.
Yeah, this is a team that needs to run it. They need to be able to pound on people. And
tell me what you think about this pick.
I love it.
Tell me who's running the football in the Bucs with Vita Vea and Jordan Davis.
That is some talk about battleships. That's like a couple aircraft carriers.
And then you got Devin White to go sideline to sideline. Ooh, oh my God. I was like, this is what the pick barely even makes sense, but it's just a fun concept. And I was like, let's just send it.
I mean, almost what I think, if you were drafting Vita Vea now, where would you, what like spot do you think he is worth taking at?
Top 10 pick. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
like an absolute horse.
Yeah.
I agree.
Vita Vea does get, I think he has the ability to be a little bit more disruptive in the pass rush than Jordan Davis. But Jordan Davis could develop that.
Davis has the traits to be Vita Vea dominant in the past. He just needs. I mean, he ran out of gas too much. That was obvious.
Yeah,
but
I think just he
should be able to push dudes, or he should be able to push guys around like Vita Vea does. And I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, dude. Imagine like if you always have a fresh Jordan Davis or a fresh Vita Vea, like that defense, man. So fun. That's a fun pick. That's probably one of my favorite picks of the draft because it's just a fun one. It's a fun one to think about. Green Bay goes against Christian Harris, a guy that we've been really high on. I did basically what it came to is I couldn't think of a player that I was like really excited me for Green Bay, and so I went with Christian Harris. I think if there's the wide receiver still on the board, you go there, but they're all gone, including Jahan Dotson. And so go get.
JMO's not gone.
Oh my God, JMO's not done. He went. You'll see where he goes. Yeah, maybe I go JMO here. Honestly, maybe I go JMO here. That might have just been a mistake because I was trying to think of wide receivers.
I will say, I like Christian Harris way more than most people. I think they're the people who are saw him maybe takes one bad step and now are soured for life.
You could easily just swap these picks and I'd be okay with it. And then Detroit goes against Christian Harris. I might just do that, to be honest. I don't know.
Trevor Penning?
Yeah, tell me what you think about. I mean, they need to shoot a shot on the offensive line. They need it. They need
to. You can't convince me that you think that Penning is a better shot of panning out than Bernie.
It's not necessarily that. It's as much as I don't think Bernie's frame's ready yet for the NFL. I think Trevor Penning is.
Trevor
physically.
Penning's frame's ready. Everything else maybe is not. So I don't know.
I don't hate Trevor Penning as much as you. I think.
I'm feeling.
I don't know.
I'm a Bernie rider, so I have to argue.
Dog. You're a burn dog and you're anti-Trevor Penning, so I can see why you wouldn't like this pick. I think Kansas City gets one of the best picks in the draft at Dax Hill Falls. You guys know we're big Dax Hill fans. Not only because we're Michigan fans, but we saw this guy play every single snap, and he's very impactful around the line of scrimmage. He's gonna have great range if you play him at safety. Has the ability to play that center field and have range to get sideline to sideline with the ball in the air. I mean, he's going to run a dummy 40. And, people don't know enough because it was, you didn't really see, the long speed of him out of the nickel. But, he flies. And he's going to run super fast. I think a lot of teams are going to – I don't know if he falls here, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Do you think they can take Brisker, too?
Yeah, I think they could. Dax Hill's just my number one guy. Houston – gets this pick via Cincinnati. Laramie Tunsil goes over to Cincy. Get him a veteran left tackle who was reliable to protect Joe Burrow. Houston go against Andrew Booth, the probably the best value pick.
Yeah, fair.
And then Detroit rounds out the draft with Jameson Williams, who falls. But Detroit, you're thinking long term. Okay, Jameson Williams might not be necessarily ready for week one. This guy still has the speed. He still has the ability to separate down the field. Even if he's not necessarily ready and you have another bad year, Jameson Williams will be in his second year and you're drafting maybe Bryce Young. So getting those guys, Dan Campbell's playing the long game there.
You just play the long game. You know Jared Goff is going to be no friend to Jameson Williams with the
you're drafting Jameson Williams for 2023 when you got Bryce Young. So yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, maybe that's just why I knocked that. I don't know, because I was thinking about the Bryce Young Jameson Williams combo. That's big brain GM out of me. And yeah, that's a mock. I mean, there's some holes in it. I think Green Bay maybe goes Jameson Williams there, but that's just not as fun. A couple of guys who slipped. Roger McCreary was in my mock. I ended up knocking him out.
4.
I ended up having. I was going to go with Roger McCreary to the he was in there somewhere. I forgot. I was putting so much work. I was moving guys around. I'm just happy I didn't.
It's actually way harder than you think. And then
I'm just happy I didn't draft 2 guys to one team, to be quite honest, because I thought that was definitely a possibility. I was going through it multiple times. I had the whole draft figured out, and then I ended up I think Pittsburgh's going to trade up for quarterback. So then I put that in there. I was where are they going to trade it? As Denver gets Aaron Rodgers. Denver might not have that pick if they do get Aaron Rodgers, but we'll see. Anyways, that's a wrap on Mock Draft 1.0. This was, again, very early, pre-combine, pre-pro day, pre-interviews, pre-NFL trade rumors. But, yeah, appreciate you all for listening, and we'll be updating our mocks probably every couple of weeks as the information, as the combine and pro days roll out. Appreciate you guys rocking with the Rock Boys, and we'll be back with more draft content later, y'all. Peace.